Hey everybody, and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. Right, let's have a look at what do we want to do here. So, we're in Utah. Well, we're actually just outside St. George, but we can kind of go anywhere. But I think we want to try and find a job here in St. George and maybe try and go to Moab, Price, Provo or Ogden. So, we still don't have our own truck or anything. Let's have a look if we can get something. Ogden, there we go. Let's have a look if there's any other on there. Moab, there we go. Let's go to Moab. Then we can go up to Ogden from there, I think. It's only 4,000 quid, but what the hey. So I hope you guys are all doing very well. Doing pretty good myself. Let's have a look at this, what we've got here. It's an interesting looking truck actually, isn't it? And then I guess we're carrying some sort of liquid on the back there. Well, actually, I think that might be a grain silo actually. I don't think it's full of liquid. I think it's the actual canister by the looks of it. So it's an international truck. It's quite a nice dashboard. Interior is a bit meh. No sleeping compartment. It's pretty small. I quite like the mauve detailing. Don't really like the floor mats very much. But yeah. Now then, there we go. Lights are on. Let's get trucking. It's only got one exhaust, which would bother me a little bit, I think. I'd like to have two either side. Okay, so we're off. So I hope you guys are all doing pretty well. I'm doing, I'm doing reasonably okay myself. It's, what is it? It's Monday, I think, as I record this now. Still in June. Not many days left of June. And I am going back to work on Wednesday. However, as I don't know, as luck would have it, I guess, that is going to be pretty short-lived because due to some delays on films, well, delays on the two main films, which is Tenet and Mulan, my company's decided that we're actually going to delay our reopening. So we were scheduled to reopen in mid-July. And so obviously I was going back on the 1st to kind of make sure everything was ready. And now we're actually going to be reopening on the, early-ish August. So pushed back quite a bit. Tenet got delayed till the 14th of August, Mulan until the 24th of August. So they got pushed back quite severely. And truthfully, the reason for them being pushed back is the rise in the cases of coronavirus in the US. US is a particularly important kind of box office area for films, and if a few of them are going to be closed off due to recurring cases, shall we say, or rising cases in some areas, then they're going to delay the films, which has a knock-on effect. I wouldn't say the UK is a shining example of how things are to be done, but I think we were, or are, hopefully, fingers crossed, on the mend. Europe as a whole is pretty low at the minute in terms of the number of cases, so doing better, but yeah, it's a bit of a worry. I was kind of saying this to my girlfriend before that, for those of you who don't know, I'm a manager of a cinema, so I run the cinema, and while I'm very confident that my cinema will be fine and the company I work for will be fine, there's nothing like that security of actually going to work and opening and seeing money go into your tills to kind of make you feel a bit better. And I don't know, I guess I was kind of looking forward to that. hitting in July, but c'est la vie. It looks like I've got another 2 weeks. I'm going in on Wednesday because we actually have some deliveries coming for some PPE and stuff. In some ways it works out better for me because I think I've mentioned it multiple times, but I am moving house and it's likely that that's going to happen towards the end of July. That reduces my commute by an hour, so yeah, the less time I have to commute from my current house, the better. And I look forward to it, not having to ever do the commute again, the 2-hour commute there and 2 hours back. But I guess it's just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? It's life, often said, if you come out of this and all you've done is lost a little bit of money, then you're doing pretty well. That's what I say. But it's frustrating because last week I kind of said to my staff, hey, we're going to be returning to work on this day, and these are the plans and this is what we're doing, and then now I've got to kind of contact them and be like, hey, actually, you know what, we've been delayed by like another 2-3 weeks, I'm afraid. So yeah, frustrating. Obviously I'm in a much better position than a lot of people. Some people wouldn't be complaining about having another 2 weeks off, but in truth, it's been nearly 4 months now, and I am ready to go back to work. I'm ready to get back in, and I just feel like as well, like I've talked about it a lot, not just on my videos, which I have, but with other people around work and stuff like that, that you're just like, I just want to get on with this and get things back to normal, if there is going to be such a thing again, which hopefully there will be. That car has been a bit of a dick. Why is this guy going so slow? Let's do him. But yeah, I think there's a lot of positives, I guess, for me personally. But there's also, as I said, I have been frustrated the last kind of week or so that the longer any business stays shut, the the more worried you can be, obviously. But from our point of view, there's absolutely no point in opening up a cinema if you have very few films to show, and certainly nothing that isn't already out on on demand. It's not going to entice people back into the cinema when they feel like it's still a risk. I think in Germany they were saying that the average attendance for like last week, I think, was like 7%, which is just crazy, but yeah, it is what it is. It's just it's been 4 months. By the time we reopen, it'll be 5 months. 5 months, nearly half a year of everything being pushed back and basically putting your life on hold. And I don't want it to feel like I'm complaining about it, because as I said, a lot of people are worse off. I said to my girlfriend that this is like the amount of time someone has off for a serious disease, and I can count myself lucky that that's not the case. And sometimes you are like, if I wish I just had a bit more time, and I've had more time, but from a financial aspect, you are just like, oh, what have we got up here? It is kind of a case. It's like an accident. We can't turn off there. That's annoying, because oh god, there's a truck on its side. I hope everyone's okay. Yeah, okay, we can't actually turn off there, so that's a new one where I've literally not been able to turn off. But okay, well, next exit, I guess we'll go back on ourselves and take it from there. It's weird. Yeah, as I was saying, don't take this as me complaining about how hard my life is. It's more just to vent a little bit, I guess, and say that I'm frustrated at how slow everything is, because I don't know about anybody else. Obviously naively, we weren't given time frames or anything like that when there was the first kind of stages of lockdown and stuff like that. But I certainly didn't think it would go on this long. Like, not in my, I guess in my wildest dreams, but like if someone had said realistic to me, I generally thought tops 2 months, but likely 6 weeks. Because I felt rather naively that if everybody just stays at home, then this thing just dies out, and then we all come out, move on with our lives. But what I already knew, but is also apparent from that, is I don't know the first thing about viruses, how they work really. So yeah, while the cases have declined massively, you would just think that like it would have died off, but here we are. And it's strange, isn't it, that like something which I see in America, a lot of people are kind of refusing to wear masks, and my thoughts on America are, as someone from England, is that they care an awful lot about their rights. They care an awful lot about things like freedom of speech and freedom in general, I guess. But they don't seem to care much about other people's freedom. So, you're not wearing a mask to save yourself. You're wearing a mask to save other people. It's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? It's a weird one, but and obviously it's a small minority, not the majority. I think the majority of people are pretty sensible and will do their best to go about their business as safely as they can. But same way, I guess America has as bigger percentage of idiots as any other country. There's just a lot more people in there, so there's a lot more of them. I guess that's just the way it goes, isn't it? And maybe that freedom of speech and that freedom of general freedom that you don't necessarily get in a lot of other countries allows those idiots to prosper sometimes. Maybe. I also think it's like sad in some ways that you do see people jump onto things which you're like, I see people kind of jumping onto the whole mask thing and being like, protesting about it, doing stuff like that, and you're like, you're probably not, and when I'm talking about people, I'm talking about maybe people who could be considered to be celebrities, etc., famous-ish people, and you're like, you should know better, and this is clearly you like doing some sort of stunt, but you're quite happy to jump on a bandwagon when it suits your when you think you could make some money out of it or get some more popularity. It's kind of sad, even if that puts people at risk. It's crazy. But yeah, it's one of those things, as they say. On the plus side, I guess I've got more time to make videos for you guys and make sure I've got more of a backlog. I've got about a 2-week backlog going on at the minute, and lots of plans for other games and things like that to do. Plugged in my old Wii U today and cranked up Wind Waker after 3 years. So I got up to like episode 21 of my Wind Waker playthrough, and stopped because Breath of the Wild came out and I wanted to play that. I wanted to finish Wind Waker before Breath of the Wild, but I didn't manage it. And yeah, I just never went back to it. But then I was like, you know what, I need to get back to it. because I want to finish Wind Waker and because I want to start Twilight Princess. So yeah, that's kind of coming, I guess. But yeah, and I remember back to it actually, Wind Waker. I think that was about the time when, I think just before that, Nintendo had finally allowed people to actually stream their stuff without copyright claiming it. So there was a long period of time where you couldn't play Nintendo games on YouTube or Twitch because Nintendo would copyright strike you and they'd take all your revenue. And then they brought in this kind of partner program where you could partner and they would take a share of your revenue. However, they didn't have it in the UK for whatever reason. And then eventually they kind of relented and went, actually, yeah, it's fine. After every other game company out there did the, were doing it for a long time. It was a really weird one. I only just remembered that today when I plugged in the Wii U. But yeah, weird one that from Nintendo. Ooh, that was nearly a crash. Thought that was pretty bad driving from that guy there. Bloody roadworks. But yeah, I think a playthrough on that. And I was thinking today as well, like the Wii U is still quite an underrated console in terms of you can get them pretty cheap nowadays. The games are not really very expensive secondhand, and the like the online store has a much bigger selection of past games than the Switch does. Like the Switch for me is probably one of the most perfect consoles to ever exist, apart from the whole backwards compatibility thing. Like Nintendo has this absolute treasure trove of old games which people are begging to be put onto Switch, and they don't do it, even though they can do it on the Wii U, which I don't understand why they haven't done it on the Switch. It's bizarre, I think, but there are a few older ones when you go on to when you get the online pass and stuff like that, which they are providing for free and stuff like that. But when I think I can get most of all the Zelda games on Wii U, even like Game Boy ones, I can't get them on Switch. It's just it's puzzling to me. It really is. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you can get Super Mario Galaxy on Wii U, but you can't get it on Switch. Stuff like this, Super Mario Sunshine. It's weird. I don't know why they do that. Nintendo are a very odd company sometimes. Decisions they make zero sense, but when they get things right, they just really get things right. You can forgive them because the games which come out on their console, whether they make them or through some exclusive third party sort of thing, like the Zeldas and the Pokemons, etc., they're just such magnificent games that you let Nintendo off for being this kind of like, they're kind of like an eccentric uncle in a way. Like they do some weird things sometimes, but they come out with just some absolute blinders sometimes, and you're like, well, think of it as like a crazy old uncle who is actually a really good chef. You're like, I like going around his house because he makes such good food, but he does say some weird things when I'm there. That's how I would define Nintendo, as that kind of crazy old uncle or aunt who's actually a really good chef. That's my take on this one. Runway truck ramp. I'm going over here, mate. You're getting overtaken, Sonny Majim. Wow, look at that view. Utah. Wow. That is stunning, isn't it? Still managed to be going a lot faster than I should be. Yeah, this looks very Red Dead Redemption. so I'm just enjoying the view rather than necessarily concentrating on where I'm going. Flipping heck, what a view. Let's drive like this for a little bit, shall we? Actually, that seems incredibly loud. There we go. Yeah, so kind of looking forward to doing a bit on that, and we should finish Wind Waker fairly soon, and then I'll crack on with Twilight Princess. I was thinking I might stream it, but I've actually been thinking a lot about streaming recently, like a lot, like every day. It's something I'm looking forward to doing so much. Getting back into that as well as making videos, because there's such a difference between the two things. You have that kind of interaction with people, but one thing I am going to kind of ask people's thoughts on, closer to the time, is what I should be playing. Okay. I need to overtake here. What is going on here? Did someone crash? What? Oh my god. See that guy just doing an absolute 180. So weird. What is going on with you today, American Truck Simulator? Yeah, but the thing which I will be asking people's opinions on and thoughts on is what I play when I stream. So looking into it and reading a lot of articles on it, watching videos on streaming and stuff like that, is that on the one hand, like variety streaming, i.e. playing different games, is incredibly hard to break into, and it's a lot easier to become more popular on Twitch or other streaming platforms by focusing on one game, shall we say, or two games or something like that. Now obviously the downside to that is you're kind of playing one game, and you've got to bring something to that game, i.e. knowledge, fun factor, whatever, and that game has to be a certain type of game, because you couldn't turn around and say like, right, I'm only going to play The Last of Us 2, because you're going to finish The Last of Us 2 in 40 hours or whatever, and then what? You become a variety streamer. So you've got to try and find something that is going to survive a long time, so a well supported game with regular updates, a game that you enjoy, a game that you can kind of bring something to, whether that's an entertainment factor or knowledge, i.e. you're good at the game or you know a lot about it, and a game which is fairly sandboxy, so you can do different things in it. And I've kind of narrowed it down to a couple of games, 2 or 3 games, which I'm like, these kind of make sense for me, like they tick the boxes. So the first one would be Football Manager, because I do enjoy Football Manager a lot, and it's sandboxy. It has a pretty decent following, but I wouldn't say it's oversaturated. But there is a decent following of people, and obviously football is a worldwide sport, even though maybe America is still a bit, not 100% on it. It's that kind of thing you can do, and I also quite like the idea behind it, because to stream it, because it's very like you can have a lot of interaction, because you can pause the game a lot, it loads a fair bit. Look at this view though, my goodness me. Yeah, so there's a lot of things going for it. It's quite sandboxy. There's loads of different leagues you can try, do different things, and and I know a lot about the game. I've been playing it for decades, so I can bring some interesting thoughts, I think, to it and stuff like that. So that'd be one. The next one would probably be the Elder Scrolls Online. Obviously MMOs are pretty good for streaming, because there's so much content going on and so many things you can do. I think the Elder Scrolls Online does have quite a big following on Twitch, so it's not oversaturated, but it's not the kind of rarest thing to do. And obviously it's sandboxy. The game's massive. There's so much content in it, so much to do. So that's an option, and I enjoy the game a lot. I've been playing it for a long time. I know a thing or two about it, so I think I have something to offer there. Next one will be Total War, because I've been playing that recently and been loving it. And there's loads of different races to play in that game, loads of things you can do. My only slight concern with it is that I'm not very good at the game. I'm still very new, but then again, streaming it would be fun to learn. So there's that option, I guess. And what else was I thinking? Well, I can't remember now. I was thinking of maybe doing oh blimey, I'm nearly out of fuel. I was thinking of doing maybe some type of like RPG strategy games. So playing through things like Pathfinder, Divinity, that type of thing. I've never found a particularly massive following for that type of thing on my channel, so it does worry me that people might not be interested in streaming it, but I do adore those games, you know, Pillars of Eternity, Divinity. We've got Baldur's Gate 3 coming out, and I will do something with that, whether it's videos or whether it's... Where are we going, by the way? Is this even a road? We're just off-roading here. But yeah, I mean, other options could be something like Hearthstone, but I've kind of given up on Hearthstone because I just feel like it's such a money sink, and stuff like that, and it is massively oversaturated, and I'm not that good at the game. I do enjoy it, but that's the reality of it. Then I've also thought about maybe doing Zelda games on there, so have a kind of season of Zelda or whatever. I think... Is that going to count as me? No, apparently not. Apparently I've gone past it too much. Okay. There we go. Where do we want it? Shall we try that? No. I'm not a good parker, sorry. Yeah, so I'm having some thoughts, and I'm kind of looking up. There's a really good website you can use, actually, which kind of tells you about saturation levels of games and things like that, which would be interesting. It all still will be in the kind of ASMR style of my channel. So I guess in a way that's the niche, but I do think kind of focusing on one particular aspect, it would be a nice way to do it. Oh, credit limit is now 500,000. We can get any truck we want. Good. Okay. Things I need to discover, like these okay, can we start in Moab and go up to... We want to try something that goes to Logan or Ogden. St George. Have we been to St George? Yes. That's literally the way we just went. St George, Salt Lake City, Logan. Okay, office supplies. Take the job. Okay, we'll do this one as well. Then next time we seriously need to think about buying a truck. What type of truck is this? No, it's not the same. It's a Peterbilt though. This is like one of the OG trucks you had. It's not terrible, I guess. Obviously no sleeping compartment and stuff like that, but right, let's get going again. So yeah, and I feel like I've got a really nice setup now in terms of streaming. The only thing I've not so happy with is the webcam I have, but it's absolutely fine. I'm just one of those people who really wants perfection, and so eventually I will get like what I want to get actually is a GoPro and then an Elgato cam link to use. The reason being that, and not just like a DSLR, is the GoPro obviously has a smaller footprint, which will be more useful. But if those of you who don't know what an Elgato cam link is, basically it allows you to use a proper camera as your webcam. It's very clever. There's only certain cameras which do work with it. All the kind of GoPro Blacks work because they have like a HDMI out and stuff. But there is like a full list of compatibility on like Elgato's website for it, but it's what a lot of professional streamers use to allow them to have such good quality webcams, because webcams at the minute, even quite expensive ones like £150 ones, are just not that good a quality in reality. And like, you are probably better off buying a cheap GoPro and an Elgato cam link to get that quality, especially if you do a lot of stuff where it's not just your face in the corner and you want to do other things. It really is worth it. So that's something on the horizon. But seeing that the cam link itself is like £100, and then buying a GoPro, if I went for a new one and went for a slightly older model, it'd still be about £200. It's not an investment I'm prepared to make right now, in all honesty. But it will be something I do at some point, because I actually have a lot of ideas for use for GoPro, recording stuff out and about, etc., things like that, which I'm actually due to get a phone upgrade this week. So I am going to go for my recruitment agency. Great. Would like a thingy though. Truck dealer. What was I saying? Yeah, I would like to get to upgrade. I would like to do some out and about stuff, have some ideas of things of what I want to do, and even me and my girlfriend came up with quite a good idea for a channel which I'm not going to share, but it was something which I hadn't seen on YouTube before. I don't know how popular it would be, but that would involve a GoPro. Oh yeah, I was saying I'm getting a phone upgrade though, actually. So my 2-year contract is coming up with the mobile phone provider 3 in the UK, who I will honestly say I've had no problems with, and actually have been really happy with. Moved from Vodafone, and I've always had good 4G pretty much everywhere I've been, so I like them a lot. But yeah, my contract's up on the 5th of July actually, funnily enough, and so I'll get a new phone, and I'm probably going to go for the Pixel 4 XL. At the minute I'm using the Pixel 3a, and I love it. The camera is amazing. It hasn't got any bloatware on it like you will get with some phones. It does everything I want it to do. It's got a good screen, speakers are decent enough. It actually has a headphone jack, with the 4XL doesn't. My only issue with it is it's slightly too small for me, I would say. So the 4XL will be perfect size, and yeah, the 4XL does everything just a bit better. It's a little bit more powerful, it'll be a bit snappier, the camera's better, it's got more camera options, which was something which in a phone I never really looked for before I had a decent camera. That's the difference, I think. Sometimes I was definitely one of these people who's like, I don't need a camera, like a good camera on it, I don't take many pictures. But when you do have a good camera, you take pictures. So yeah, it would be really useful to use. I could also, for the time being, use my 4XL. You can technically use a mobile phone as a webcam, but it's not really advisable. It has problems doing that, but it is possible. Linus Tech Tips actually recently did a video on it I was watching, but I'll stick with my Logitech C920, which is kind of like the standard, like, I don't know, the meat and two veg of webcams. It's just like a real standard type thing, and just work on the lighting a bit better and stuff like that to get the best out of it. And then if I do any kind of like videos, close-ups or anything like that, I'll use my my Pixel, as it has a really good camera on it. And then I do have a DSLR camera. It's not unfortunately compatible with the Elgato cam link, so I will probably just sell it, and I won't get too much for it. I'll probably get like £100 or something, but I think once I get the 4XL, like, the camera is so good on it that I don't need a DSLR. I don't use it now. I'm not going to use it in future, So I'm a big fan of, if you don't need something, sell it. Like if you're not going to use it, sell it. So yeah, I will be doing that, I think, in the near future. But yeah, other than a webcam upgrade, I have absolutely everything I need to stream. I even have the potential to stream from a second PC. So I have a PC which I built for my girlfriend, which I think I've talked about before. I have two use cases I can use it for. One of them is because she doesn't need it anymore. You know, FYI, I'm not just stealing it off her. She doesn't need it because her work gave her a really kick-ass laptop. I'm pretty jealous of it, actually. It's like a i7, like 700K or something like that, with like 32 gigabytes of RAM. Something like ridiculously overkill for what she needs, but yeah, it's really nice. It's like a kind of like a £1,500 Dell sort of thing. Really, really nice laptop. But so she has that to kind of work from home with and stuff like that. So she doesn't need a desktop or anything like that. And so I can either use the desktop I built for her, which doesn't have a graphics card, so I would need to get one for what I'm planning on doing, which is to use it as a stream PC. So what you do is you put in a capture card, and well, I think I probably won't use it for this, but I'll explain what my thought was. So a lot of people use capture cards to stream with, so that your PC doesn't have to share the burden of streaming as well as gaming, so you can get like the maximum frames and everything like that. Now there's two things which are a slight issue. So one, I would have to get a graphics card for the PC, because I guess I probably would need to get a graphics card, but I do have a capture card I could use in it, so I wouldn't have to get that. But that's mostly how people use it. The kind of problem there is I've then got to find room for another computer, then got to set that up to stream. I'd rather do it from one computer. My computer is powerful enough to do that. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM and a Ryzen 7 3700X. Like it's more than powerful to stream and not have that much of an issue. The other downside to it would be I would only be able to play in 1080p. So at the minute I have like a 1440p monitor, and I could play in 1440p but stream in 1080p. If I use the capture card on my second PC, I could, because it's not a 4K one, it's only 1080p. I could only watch and play in 1080p, which is obviously slightly worse for me personally. It could be that I turn down it to 1080p anyway, even on one PC, just to help it out a little bit. I'll have to have a look and see how it works and how much I'm using on my computer. But you know, I have a decent graphics card, which the NVIDIA NVENC encoding usually does most of the heavy lifting, which generally doesn't affect your PC, because the encoding is actually a separate part of your graphics card, which NVIDIA have been adding because people have been streaming more. So it doesn't normally get used unless you're streaming, if that makes sense. So it wouldn't affect your graphics card in that term, although with temps and things like that you can argue it might. But yeah, unless you were a super professional and yeah, money's not an object, it's not really, and you have a decent PC to begin with, it's not really worth having a second one to stream, I don't think. So I'll just have two monitors and we go like that, really, which is what I've done in the past. It's not been too much of an issue. Internet connection stability is a lot bigger issue, and hopefully that will be okay where I am. But the other option I can use the PC for, which I probably will do, is to use it as a router. So you can download some free software, and it actually works a heck of a lot better than your router would do that you got from your you know, internet service provider, or even a router which you got from, which you paid good money for, because their chips in them are nowhere near as good as the chip I have in this, you know, PC, which is a i7 6700K, which is my old processor and motherboard. and it's just so much, it's way more powerful than a Raptor would ever be, so it would be able to do things so much quicker and better. It does require a fair bit of technology to set up and run, which I don't currently have, but hey, I guess I've got another extra 2 weeks to learn about that, haven't I? So, bit of a hill there. Look at these mountains, man. This is so stunning. Look at the trains as well. Such a stunning place, Utah. I've really enjoyed American Truck Simulator with the updates they do. I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where they do the whole of the United States. It would be awesome. It would be truly awesome. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess. I mean, they've done a fair amount so far, and we've got Idaho coming shortly, which I'm going to play through, pick up and play. I've got Iberia, I think, to play on Euro Truck Sim as well, so lots to do there as well. What's this guy's problem, I tell you? Okay, can I overtake him now? There's a lot of Mustangs on the road, isn't there? Oh, I'm going to do you, buddy. Oh, yeah. Did him. What kind of truck is that? A car is that, sorry. Is that a Chrysler? It's got an interesting rear design. So the crashing issues I think I've sorted out now, fingers crossed. I just found loading it in DirectX 11 just worked, and just clicking the play American Truck Simulator without doing that didn't, so don't even know. It's obviously some sort of driver issue. Oh, that's a Land Rover, or Range Rover, sorry. I see a lot of those in the UK. A whole lot. How far we got? 116 miles left. Why is he allowed to go? But I'm not. Oh dear. Oh, I wish we could drive around in one of those. That would be awesome. I don't know what they're called, but I've always loved those. The other thing I've always loved American car, which you don't see in the UK, is those like long kind of estate, like family cars with the wood panels on the side. Oh, what I would give to have one of those cars. They look so cool, and you're probably thinking like they're not cool, Phil, like, but in the UK they're cool because we don't have them. Is this a bridge we've got coming up? No, we're coming onto a main road. Oh, that's cute. I like this truck and trailer actually, it's pretty cool. I might buy a trailer as well, because you can make good money from them as well. When we actually, you know, can find somewhere to buy a truck from. Here we are now, out on the big open road. Not a very fast one, this truck. I will try to avoid buying this truck. That's for sure. So yeah, and I've also been looking at, for streaming as well, I've been looking at like some graphics packages I can get and stuff like that. I'm not artistic enough or knowledgeable enough to make my own. So I am looking at kind of purchasing some, and they're really not that expensive when you think the use you're going to get out of it. So I think like you can get really nice overlays and stuff like that. Well, you can get a lot for free, but you like, I've seen some really nice ones just for like $30, which is not really a lot when you think about it. The use you get out of it and how it can make you look and definitely feel more professional. And what else have I been looking at? Oh, music as well. So obviously that's in a big topic at the minute in terms of music on Twitch. Well, it was a big topic before the whole sexual harassment stuff came about, but anyway, and we still don't know why Dr. Disrespect is banned as of me recording this video on the Monday. Hopefully we'll do by Sunday. I will say I'm not a massive Dr. Disrespect fan, but it would be good to know what the reason is to permanently ban one of the biggest streamers on the platform is. As somebody who's, you know, going to jump back onto Twitch, it's a slight worry, like the weird things that happen on it, you know. I don't think it would affect me in the same way YouTube, a lot of YouTube stuff, because I'm such a small channel, doesn't affect me in any way, shape or form. But it is one of those ones where you're like, what's going on here? Yeah, music, obviously people were just using any music they wanted, you know, playing it on their channel, which, I mean, I don't know why people thought they would get away with that. Like, it's a weird one for me. Probably because they were getting away with it, but people also seem to think that buying a song on like Spotify or whatever, or paying for your Spotify account or whatever, entitles you to use that music however you like, and it doesn't. Like, I hate to break this to people. All it allows you to do is listen to that song on that particular platform. What you cannot do is use it in something where you will then profit off the music, because that's illegal. In the same way that, you know, people get annoyed when somebody does a reaction video to their video or whatever and adds very little input into it. You can kind of imagine how Taylor Swift feels, or, you know, whoever, that people are just playing their music and not paying her a penny for it. It's a weird one. Like, there's plenty of arguments you can have about why certain music and stuff like that should be free, and obviously and why it shouldn't be, but yeah. But there's loads of like great websites out there that provide free music. So I've been listening to a few, and it's the sort of music which I'd either be playing in maybe in the background if I was just like talking to camera, or before the stream and after the stream maybe, you know, just to kind of build up to it and chill out afterwards, stuff like that. So I've got a few tracks which I'm kind of like picking out to do. And it's quite nice to support smaller artists as well. So with a lot of these websites, you can download the track and use it for... Oh, okay. We need to pull into the way station. Is the way station up here? Yeah, it is. Why we stopped? Okay. Sorry, but some weirdo just stopped on the entire like motorway. Here we go. Okay. Oh, and that's the other type of car I'd love to have, that like cop car. A is... Oh, there we go. Yeah, that kind of like American cop car style. I'd love to have one of those cars. If I ever become a millionaire, I will buy the wood panel car. I will buy the American cop car. 100%. Also buy a lot of other stuff, but anyway. And I would definitely, by the way, as weird as this sounds, I'd definitely keep this channel up if I became a millionaire. I'd just probably do slightly crazier things on it. And I would definitely still do streaming stuff like that, because I just enjoy it, I think, and it's a nice kind of thing to do, and I think it's important. It would be important anyway, even coming into a large amount of money, to keep yourself busy. Otherwise, I think like you can be drawn down dark avenues. So I'll definitely try and keep myself nice and busy. And let's face it, I want to play a load of video games anyway, so might as well just stream it or record it. There we go, back inside. I think we've had a pretty good chat. It's been a really long video actually. I did not mean to go on for this long. Probably going to be an hour, isn't it? At least. But it's been nice though actually. We're actually only about 10 miles away, so we're very close, but to Logan. And it looks beautiful around here. That sky is stunning. It's been a nice chat. As I say, I always use these like truck simulator videos to just ramble on about stuff. Rant, ramble, whatever. They're great videos for doing that sort of thing, because you usually can just keep your finger down on, you know, on accelerator and just cruise your way. Okay. I should respect the speed limit around here. We've done pretty well though. I don't think I got... No, I definitely did get fined last time, didn't I? Because we smashed into another car. But if we don't get fined by this time, this could be a new record for me. Not fined for speeding, not crashing. That would be nice. So it looks like there's a thingy off to the left here. Oh no! I missed it. I was looking at the map. Idiot! I nearly made the whole way around. What an idiot! I want to go left here actually, because I want to see if I can discover I think there might be a truck in there. That's beautiful there, isn't it? That's nice. Wow. Even though we're obviously supposed to go in there. We won't be late or anything. But it'd be worth our time if we can... I think we're blocking this car. Is it a cop car as well? It is a cop car. Don't think he's too happy with us. Don't know if it is a truck stop actually. Looks like a way station. It's a bit weird. Could be a truck stop actually. So, you know what? We'll go left. Sod it. I can't even be mad at that. Can't even be mad at that. Truck works. Yeah, it's not a cellar. It's just a repair place. That's annoying. Right, let's drop this off anyway. I'll work out how to buy a truck online at some point. Okay. This truck's done 400,000 miles, apparently. I've said this before, like, I didn't realise how many miles trucks actually were designed to do. I guess it kind of makes sense that they're so expensive now. So he's going. Can we go? Yes, go, 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 go. You're running out of fuel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Coming up on the left to Eddie's. Okay. Here we go. Brilliant. Okay. What do you want to do now? I might do all the dangerous ones. There we go. Okay. We've got truck dealers up here. Okay, so we have got one there, which we can do. I'll have a look off camera and then next time we'll take a decision. Looks like it's the only one we've got though, even though there's like 8 in Utah. Yes. Okay. We'll have a look at what we can pick up here and what's good and what's not. Till next time, guys, thanks for watching. As always, it has been my pleasure. And I'll see you next time.